843 TV, where the Lowcountry comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. We're at Schiller and Hamilton Law Firm in Beaufort, and it's always a pleasure to be here. And today we get to be one-on-one with Bennett. Thank you for having us.
Well, thanks for being here. You know, we've talked about a lot of different things, and we've had a lot of different organizations on, and so today we're going to talk a little bit more about what it is we do.
Absolutely. And yes, you're always so wonderful about interacting with the community and putting that word out there. So let's talk about you and all the things that you do right here at the firm. And as we know, there's a lot of facts and there's a lot of fallacies out there about different areas of law. So we're going to break those down in our show, but we're going to start today with personal injury.
Yeah, so, personal injury, a lot of people misunderstand what a personal injury claim is. Personal injury is when someone's negligence or someone's error or mistake has caused personal injury or harm to an individual. And the claim that's being brought is not necessarily against the person who did the harm, but against an insurance company that they've been paying premiums to cover those risks, whether it's a company or whether it's an individual. Businesses have insurance to cover their mistakes. Doctors, lawyers, we all have to carry insurance. And so a personal injury claim is something that has caused harm to another person due to someone else's negligence.
Give us some examples of some claims that you might see or come across.
Well, obviously the most obvious ones, car accidents, because that's where most people are likely to get injured. But we also have slip and falls or trip and falls in a place of business. Someone has been mopping the floors and put out wet floor signs, or sometimes there's medical errors, nursing home. There's oftentimes mistakes that are made there, whether it's in the hiring or staffing. There's also product liability cases where companies rush a product to the market and it's dangerous or defective. So there's all sorts of types of injuries that can happen.
So what is it that you look for in a claim? What would you sit down and talk to the individual about?
Well, first there has to be, there's four things. There has to be a duty, a breach of that duty, causation, and damages. So the breach of the duty is the first thing. We have to determine whether or not a duty was owed to the individual who suffered the harm and whether there was a breach of that duty. If we can establish that, then we look to see whether it has caused any harm. And then, of course, we look at the harm itself. What are the damages? And, there's two types of damages. There's economic damages, which we're all familiar with, loss of income, medical expenses, property damage. There's loss of future income or future benefits that you may be entitled to if you, for instance, lose your job because of an injury and you were receiving other future benefits, pensions or 401k. So there's financial harm, and then there's what we call non-economic damages. And non-economic damages are the things we focus primarily on here because we actually get to know our clients. Non-economic damages involve, pain and suffering, mental anguish, emotional distress, but it also involves loss of enjoyment of life. And one of the things that is really important to us is, something has been taken. Usually an injury prevents that person from being able to do the things they love to do. It may be playing with their grandkids, it may be, running, playing golf, those types of things. And when that has been taken away from them because of an injury, we find that to be pretty important. So, we spend a lot of time trying to get to know our clients and understanding, what they have lost, what has been taken, because the goal there is to make them whole again. And at Schiller Hamilton, we want to make sure that our clients recover emotionally, physically, and financially. So, we can't wave a magic wand and put somebody back and restore their ability to play golf again. But what we can do is we can compensate them to help make them whole, to pay them for that loss. And that's really the only way we have to do that. So, you don't see us advertise big numbers, because we don't know what that number means, because, a lot of times folks who have suffered an injury, there may just not be enough coverage to fully compensate them. Many times, we're able to fully compensate somebody, but, those numbers are always misleading. So you don't see us advertising, our settlements or our verdicts, because it doesn't really mean anything unless you actually know what the person has lost and whether that number represents something that is fair. But the goal there is to make someone whole again, and we do our best to do that. So.
Well, I know there's a lot to unpack about just that. We're going to move on to another segment in a minute, but basically if someone is concerned, just give you a call and sit down and talk with you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for that, and you all stay here. We'll be back with more 843 TV.